Hello, this is Diane. Welcome to our channel. This is the second part of the video that I was working on for restoring the figurines or yard ornaments. So please enjoy and let's get started. Okay, I'm back again. This is all set up now. What I want to do is I want to sand any of the high bumps off. All right, so there he is. He's nice and smooth. And again, I just want to put a little bit of hardener in there again. Mix it up good. You'll have to put 2 or 3 coats on with this Bondo. Luckily, this is really easy sanding Bondo, so this is some really nice stuff here. I'm going to use a little bit bigger paddle this time because I want to try to get it a little more uniform than I did before. As you can see, I'm just trying to smear this in. I don't want a lot on the top there. I want to keep it to where in my low spots. And I want to kind of bring it over. And then my final coat, I'm going to try to come across the top and smooth this all out and round it to where, and then I'll have to come back and do the detailing as far as his little fur goes. It looks like they've cut just little notches in it. So I'm going to try to do the same. I want to try to use all the Bondo up. I don't want to waste any. Luckily, Mark likes to do a lot of automotive work. So that's why I had the Bondo and the fiberglass. He had just redone a Corvette that had a little bit of damage to the front end. So that's why he had the fiberglass. And then, of course, the Bondo was once he got the fiberglass replaced. So it's kind of nice having Mark around to where I can kind of use his tools too. And that way I don't have to go out and buy my own. I've already got it on hand, and that's what I try to use, more stuff I have on hand rather than have to go out and buy it. And like I said, luckily Mark has a lot of this stuff on hand, so that's made it good for me. As you can see, this is almost dry again already. This stuff dries really fast. So what I'm gonna have to go back, and once I get this evened out here, I'm gonna, as you can see, it's already dried up. So I don't know if maybe one more coat. You can kind of see it's filling in pretty good. I just need to come just a little more, maybe one more coat on here, and then I'm gonna come back, and then I'm gonna have to do it in sections. So what I'll have to do is put a little bit here, and then try to do all these little cuts to make the fur look all uniform. We'll see. I think once I get the paint on it, you probably won't notice if it's not perfect. I'm hoping. So, but there's another coat on there. We'll let it dry, and then we'll put our last coat on there. And then, like I said, I'm going to try to come back in here with the knife and just try to make the fur match up as best I can. But like I said, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference, because once I get a coat of paint on this, you know, unless you know this was damaged, and plus it's on the back side, so he should work out pretty good, and then we'll start painting him. So there we go. Okay, so now we have this guy. I heard that this stuff was supposed to work really good for a filler. I feel like that was not true. As you can see, it's still soft. I kind of thought it would turn up harder than that, but it's still pretty squishy. So I think what I'm going to have to do is kind of whittle this away as best I can and get it removed off of there, and then try to put the Bondo over the top, and then just sand the Bondo to match as best I can. I thought this would work a little better, but I'm just not happy with this. But sometimes you got to try stuff. If it doesn't work, go on to the next step. So I think what I'm going to do is try to just get this stuffed under there as best I can, and then take the Bondo and fill it in, and let's try this. We'll try a little X-Acto knife, see if I can cut it to be below the surface. And I'm always willing to try stuff. I never know if it's going to work out or not. I read this somewhere that this was the way to fix these. Honestly, I don't think this is the way to go. The fiberglass on the little hedgehog was definitely the way to go. The only problem with this is the way this was broken. It was hard for me to get that fiberglass in there. So I think this will be okay once I get the worst of this trimmed away and get a coat or two of Bondo on here. I think eventually it will look fine. My concern, for this anyway, I'm not as concerned about the that it has to be weight bearing or anything like that. I mean, this is all hollow, so I don't think that's going to be an issue with it. So that was one nice thing that I didn't have to worry about, and that's why I was thinking with the foam stuff, it would still be light, and I could just put Bondo over the top. But quite honestly, I don't think I would recommend doing this again. I would stick with trying to figure out a way to do the fiberglass on it, or just do Bondo on it. Like I said, somebody had repaired it and used just some putty, and that definitely was not the way to go either. But I think once I get this cleaned up and get a coat of Bondo on it, I don't think it'll be too bad, and I can always sand it and make it match up how I need it to match up. So yeah, definitely not a good suggestion, I don't think. But it did fill a hole in, so I guess it did kind of work. I just didn't realize this stuff would be so sticky. I don't know what I was expecting. I've never used this stuff before, but it does come back off really easily. So, and I have to repaint this and everything anyway and resand it, so I think this will be all right. We'll see how the Bondo works on it. Again, it's all the trial and error type of thing. So you never know till you try it, and once you tried it, and if you don't like it, then don't do it again. Trying to scrape all of this off, so when I do put the Bondo on it, it's got a good surface to stick to. I'm just scraping off any excess, And like I said, in the future, I don't think I would ever do this again. I think I'll stick with just filling them with either the body filler or using the fiberglass. And like I said, it's good for me because I can try different things since we have so many different things available to us. Since Mark likes to do body work and things like that, it makes it nice for me because my other option was, what I was thinking was maybe trying to use a little bit of the either wood filler or I had some clay, like modeling clay, that I had also thought, but I just don't think that would be a good fix for this. So I was real happy that Mark was able to supply me with some Bondo, because I really feel like that's probably the best fix for this. And so I'm just going to keep cleaning this up, and then once I get this cleaned up, I will show you what I do with the body filler. Okay, back again, doing another coat. Ugh, this is really goopy. Mixing this up again. Again, you want to make sure it's nice and even, all the same color, no dark streaks in it. Once you get to that point, then you put it on the little guy. This time I'm going to use a little bit bigger blade because I want it just to fill in the center and then go out towards the edges. So, as you can see here, just want it in the edges. I don't want too much on these edges. I just want, there we go. And that should be my finished coat on there. And then I can come back and fill in all of the little areas. Now, with this little guy here, since I have the extra stuff left over, I'm just going to start patching this in. Not quite sure how this is going to work out. I'm hoping I can blend all this in. I'm going to have to sand it 2 or 3 times, but I'm hoping I can get a nice coat of Bondo on here and then sand it down to match up with the original area that's been broken. Back and forth a little bit. It's kind of separated out. I don't want it to do that. You don't want to use a whole lot of this at a time because it does set up fairly quickly and you don't want to waste it. So I just try to do it in little. I don't know why this is so runny. Thought I mixed it up, but again, you want to make it nice and one color. I might have used a little bit too much hardener in this one. Just add a little bit more Bondo. as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and let this dry. And then I'm going to have to resand it again. And definitely going to need some more Bondo in there. But that foam did work okay. I mean, as you can see, I got a foot now. I have the wood all the way around here. I do need to fill this up in and kind of grate it up into here. But once that's dried and I sanded it a little bit, should work out well. So now we can go back to this little guy. Yep. And real happy with how he turned out. Basically, I just need to go back in and I'm going to put a really light coat of the Bondo on here. And then I'm just going to try to recreate his fur as best I can. I know it's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to try to do the best I can to recreate what's already here. I mean, it looks pretty good on his back, the shape. Now I'm just using 200 grit fine sandpaper. Works pretty good for this because I'm not worried about if it leaves some fine scratches or anything like that. This is not like you're doing the automotive. So 200 grit sandpaper works pretty good. Should have paid attention a little more. I got a little bit of a lump there. I was more concentrating on making sure I got my lump or my circle correct. So I want to blend these edges in. Sorry about that. I needed a little bit better sandpaper. That was a little old, not much grit was left on it. And got some cleaner grit here too. Use that to sand down a little quicker. It's not real smooth either, so I want it to look kind of rough looking. So, I don't know, I'm kind of happy with how this turned out with all the little divots in it. So I think I might just leave this foot how it is, because it seems pretty close to how the original foot looks. Kind of rough and divotty looking. Got a little hole there. Definitely need to fill. But the most part, I'm kind of happy with how that foot turned out. So maybe that foam stuff was the trick. Okay, so I have him ready to be primered. Put a good coat of primer on him. This stuff does not come out that easy. Alright, so we're mixing up another part of the Bondo. And we're just working on the little bear again. Trying to fill in the last parts of him. And I want this to look more like wood, so I want it to look rough, So I'm trying not to be like perfect on this because I want it to look like the rough parts of the bark. So the fact that this doesn't look real perfect is good. Still need to grade this in a little bit, still a little off. Some of the parts are pretty low yet, but it's all looking pretty good. It's all filling in there pretty good. I was a little doubtful with that, using that foam, but so far I think it turned out okay. And again, I'm just trying to make this blend in and look more like a tree. Alright, so just need a little more Bondo on it. Almost had enough. Don't want to make too much because then it sets up, but
Don't forget that other hole.
what?
Don't forget that other foot.
Okay, mix that again. One nice thing with this, it looks pretty rough anyway, so matching it up is fairly easy because you don't have to worry about making it all nice and smooth and be perfect. So that works out pretty good for me. A little hole here on his foot I need to fill in. As I said, on his foot, it looks a little rough, but I want to keep it rough because it kind of matches the rest of his body. So that's what I've been trying to match this up so that it looks kind of like bark. So as you can see, it's pretty rough, but you know, I feel like it's supposed to be that way because of the way the bark looks. So I think that blended in pretty good. I got this one little hole over here yet that I got fixed. Alright, and again, I want to leave that a little rough looking. And then I think that's pretty good. We got all of it in. We'll let it dry and see how it looks. Okay, so now I'm back on the fish again. I just did a wash of the green and the pink, trying to kind of make him look like a little salmon. A wash is basically you just add a little bit of water to it and just it does a really light coat because I don't want to paint it 100%. I just want to do a wash. So, and then I want to make my, sorry about that. Just want to create a little bit of deeper pink on the edge of this one. And I am going to go over this with another, like I said before, a burnt umber again, just to fill in the lines and make it look more rustic. So as you can see, I'm just blending these two colors together, and then that way he kind of makes, you can see the colors blending. And I want to hit him up top with a little bit deeper green, kind of doing the same thing with the pink. All right, as I said, I'm going to put a little bit of the deeper green on the top. Okay, and then I just need to finish his eyes. With the black. Once I get the black all complete, this guy's ready to be washed with the burnt umber, and I'll have to let him dry good first, and then I will go over him with the burnt umber, and you can see kind of makes him an antiqued kind of look, plus it fills in all the lines and gives him more definition. But we're going to have to wait till all of this dries first, and then we will go that next step. All right, so I've made a wash of the burnt umber, a little bit of water, and then I have my rag. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting some paint on him, just lightly coating, and this will bring out the lines and kind of make this antique looking. Not wanting to wipe off all the paint, but I want to get it enough in the cracks that it does show the definition of all of the carving that is in their hands and feet and their body. Definitely makes the fish pop out a little bit, because that definitely has a lot of little cracks and crevices in it, so it definitely makes the fish pop. And again, it's just at your own taste, how much you want to wipe off, how much you want to leave on there. I just want a really light coat, so I'm just pretty much wiping most of it off. I just want it into the crevices. A little bit more water, getting a little thick. Like I said, I'm not wanting to paint it. I'm just wanting to put a very light wash on it, just so that it fills in all the little cracks and makes it look more antiqued. I'm not wiping his mouth real good because I want that line of his smile kind of defined out. So you can kind of see around his mouth that I'm not quite wiping it as much as the rest, because I want that facial feature kind of defined in his around his mouth. I'm not really trying to get it on his eyes. I'm not too worried if I do get it on his eyes, because again, I'll be wiping that off, but same with his nose. But again, I want to get around the eyes and get down in that crack, because I want it to fill in any of the crevices. Here's my little Mr. Hedgehog. On him, I'm actually going to put a wash of black. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do that first, because I'm not sure I'm going to put a wash on top of this one when I'm finished. I think I might just leave it the brighter color. I'm not sure if I really want him antiqued, but I do want to define his fur or his bristles or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and do a wash of black on him. And again, I'm just taking some water and a little bit of paint. And I'll be coating him in the black. And I'm just kind of going to go around all the places that I'm going to be painting. I don't really want to put a wash on the beehive or anything, because the beehive is going to be painted yellow. So, but I'm not sure if I'm going to put a wash on the end, so I'm going to start off with a wash on this one instead of doing it at the end. And I can always put a wash over it when I'm finished if that's what I like. So we'll see what turns out. Because I know, like him, I kind of want to give him a little bit of pink cheeks and stuff. So I'll have to come back over and see what he looks like. Again, I don't want to wipe all of the paint off, but I just want it in the cracks, so just so it defines all his little fur. He's looking pretty good. As you can see how it defines it rather than with nothing at all. And you can see where I've repaired it. Not a perfect job, but once you get the coat of paint on him and blend it in, you'll never even know that he was repaired unless you know where to look. So I'm real happy with how that turned out. That was my first go around with fiberglass. I have worked with Bondo before, but that's the first time I've used fiberglass, and I think on this little guy it turned out really well. I'm glad I used the fiberglass and that piece of felt behind it. I think it'll definitely strengthen it up, that it won't bust back out again unless he's dropped again. Hopefully he's not. So again, I don't really know what happened to him. I just know that when I found him, he was broken. So, but he is repaired now, and he looks pretty good. Okay, so here's the finished product of the little bear. Okay, so here's the finished product of the little bear. I just put 2 coats of Rust-Oleum gloss paint on him. So then that way if he's out in the weather, he should be good. As I said here, I wasn't sure exactly what went in there. So I just went out and got a stick, attached a string to it with a little hook, and I think he looks pretty good. So now we're just going to paint the hedgehog. We have him all in a wash of black. So now we're just going to go in and fill in the detail work. See him doing his little eyes. Paint the hive yellow, and then I'm going to put a wash of a little bit darker color just so it kind of brings out the lines in it. we're back to painting on the bear again. As you can see, I have one coat on his muzzle and then just a light coat in his ears. And then we're going to be painting, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's a paw print right there that I need to define. But I need to paint the whole log first. I'm going to try to paint it a lighter brown because I definitely want it to show up. And then I will go back over it just like I did the other one with some type of wash to darken it up a little bit. I'm not sure. I'm hoping to do, when I do this in a wash, I can bring out the letters on here that says welcome on this side and goodbye on the other side. And I'll probably do that in black just so it kind of brings them out a little bit. And same with the paw. I'll do that with the black. Now again, I'm not really sure what the original colors were on these, but I'm just kind of using my own judgment on what I think would look best. I mean, since it is a log, I figure I'd use some type of brown, and then, like I said, wash it again just so that all of the definition shows up, because they put a lot of work into the carving of it, and it looks really cute, so I kind of definitely want that to show back up again. Okay, so here's the finished product. If you remember, this one had the big hole in his back that I fixed with the fiberglass and the Bondo. So there he is, all completed and redone. And then this one here had his foot broken off and around the base of the log. And so here's the completed project on this little guy. Goodbye on the back. I hope you enjoyed this little project. Please hit like and subscribe, and give me any comments on if you think I could do something a little better, or if something you would like me to do in the future. Just remember, stuff like this doesn't hurt to try it. If you fail, then you try again. There's been a lot of times over the years that I've tried different things and it didn't work the first time, but just, be willing to put yourself out there and see what works and what doesn't. And as you can see, they turned out pretty good out of things that could have been just thrown away, and instead I've, refurbished them, and they'll be good for, another 5-10 years, hopefully. So again, please like and subscribe our channel, and leave comments below, and have a good day.